What the hell is even that?
This is a situation that needs to get unfucked right now!
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the endlessly edgy Dr. Disaster, and it has been extremely gratifying to watch as the culture shifts away from this weird crap right here where strange-looking misfits were used to try to sell cars, and it has shifted to this right here where Sydney Sweeney was brought in to sell American Eagle jeans. Of course, the progressive shitstains out there had a predictable response to this.
God damn it, I'm not fat. I'm just shamed for my body in a world where white men decide what's beautiful.
But the funny thing is that nobody is listening to these whiny turds. American Eagle just doubled down with a new ad, as you can see here, and here is a video of them posting their ads in Times Square, doubling down and doubling down again. And the thing is, the incentives for these companies to continue to follow the Sydney Sweeney model are glaringly obvious. Ever since this ad right here was released for Jaguar back last winter, creeping people out, that car company has lost over 90% of its sales. Meanwhile, American Eagle stock is up 24% over the past month, spiking right here after the Sydney Sweeney ad. The momentum is definitely on the side of a return towards sanity and normality.
Perhaps there's still time to change this country for the better!
And I'm pleased to report that we have seen a similar shift happen this past week in the video game industry. Two classic fighter franchises released swimsuit DLC on the same day, August 5th. Street Fighter 6 put out this skin here for Chun-Li, and people were clamoring over it big time. This is the video game equivalent of using Sydney Sweeney to sell their product.
Attractive. Nice software.
However, Tekken 8 put out this skin right here for Asuka, where they gave her linebacker shoulders, and this was the video game equivalent of using Dylan Mulvaney to sell their game.
Hi! Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us.
No thanks, bro.
But fortunately, we have even more evidence that things are shifting away from this insanity. The makers of Tekken got a lot of well-deserved flack for this design here, but we just got an announcement from legendary Tekken director Harada himself telling us that they are fixing this design so that now it is going to look like this. So, we are going from this dude here, who looks ready to play linebacker in the NFL, to this, which actually looks like a girl. Her hands still look a bit funny to me, but overall, it looks a hell of a lot better. In fact, one word comes to mind when I see this fix.
Groovy.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble too, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster over there. And don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's take a look at this change that was made to the Tekken Asuka DLC and what it signifies for the industry and the culture at large. First of all, the numbers really speak for themselves with regards to this sort of situation. At the beginning of the video, I showed you how the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads have boosted American Eagle stock value because people have confidence that this marketing campaign is going to boost its sales. We don't have sales numbers for them yet, but this seems like a solid bet. And of course, Jaguar used all those appalling weirdos to sell their cars, and this year their sales dropped by over 90%. Or hell, as another example of this strange progressive shit being wildly unpopular, look at how Dylan Mulvaney's Bud Light ad crushed that company. This article here tells us that Bud Light saw a 30% drop in sales after that trans model shot an ad for them a few years ago. Anything that can make people stop drinking beer is a pretty strong phenomenon. And now, in the video game spaces, we saw a similar sort of thing play out. The swimsuit design for Chun-Li in Street Fighter VI really boosted the sales for that game. Here is the Steam chart for Street Fighter, and they hit around 36,000 concurrent players at its peak in the past 24 hours, but as you can see right here, they actually topped out at about 50,000 players a few days ago, which even Polygon had to acknowledge was pretty incredible, since it essentially doubled their player count. But more telling than that is this data right here. Street Fighter is over 2 years old, but this DLC has propelled the game to become the number 17 top seller on the Steam platform. That is incredibly impressive for a title that is so old. But now let's compare those numbers to what we are seeing with Tekken 8. And as you can see from their Steam chart, the swimsuit DLC that they put out had no discernible effect at all on the player count. This here is the day that their DLC came out, and the player count does not stick out from any other day. It turns out that female characters designed like gorillas simply do not get people excited about your game. They just continue to hover around 7,000 players every day, and if you look at the sales data that we have available for Tekken 8, that game is at number 282 on the Steam charts. So once again, their DLC just did not move the needle at all. This is the same sort of phenomenon that we are seeing in our culture at large, with the likes of American Eagle versus something like Bud Light or Jaguar. Look, if you want to sell soy lattes to purple-haired female studies majors at some uppity university, then Dylan Mulvaney is going to be the spokesperson for you. Or if you want to sell adult bedroom toys to a bunch of awfuls, the affluent white female liberal crowd, then the weirdo models in the Jaguar ad might be worth looking into. But the problem is that every market everywhere, all the companies all across the market acted like normal guys just stopped existing, and like we don't buy things anymore. But we do. Normal men buy things. In fact, we buy things like Bud Light and cars made by Jaguar and shit. While we're at it, let's not stop with talking about normal guys. These companies have acted as if normal girls aren't real either. Sydney Sweeney sells well to them because she is something to aspire to. Compare what American Eagle has done with her to this ad here from a few years ago from Calvin Klein. I have to imagine that this ad does not work very well on most gals. So, it is with all of this in mind that Harada himself, the legendary Tekken director, tweeted that they were fixing Asuka and other characters in Tekken 8. Now, he claims that the design that we saw for Asuka was a bug, and to be honest, I don't believe that at all. I think that Tekken tried pandering to the modern audience. But once they saw all the ridicule being aimed their way, and once they saw how well received Street Fighter VI has been, I think they realized that they needed to make an emergency correction in order to save their brand. And the thing is, it is too late for them to sell this DLC at high levels Too many people have seen their screw up and mocked them for it, but they really did need to fix their image as we navigate through our ever-shifting culture, the franchises which linger too long on the old woke paradigm, the ones who fail to adapt and go along with what customers actually want. Those brands are going to struggle. Normal men and women have had their voices ignored and suppressed for a long time, but they're being heard again, and the wisest players in the market are listening closely to what they have to say. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your appreciation for the changes in marketing that we have been seeing lately into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.